Hey everybody, K420. I'm back. 2 in 1 day. I'm getting my groove back. Can you tell? I'll be doing a live soon. I know it. I can feel it. All right. Um, this is a little controversial because most people are probably reading this right now and you're considering clicking off because you're a UFC fan or a Conor McGregor fan and you just don't want to hear this. Well, that's okay because you're going to miss out on some juicy stuff because I've got some seriously good insiders on this that have compiled all the information necessary. Since technically here in the US, we didn't hear about it for almost 90 days after the incident. So, if you haven't heard about it, I'm going to, as fast as I can, get through this timeline because while I put this video together, actually, no, while I was recording it for the second time, because this is the third, my dogs barked through 2 times of it. While I put this video together, I happened to come across breaking news about Conor McGregor, and I was like, wait, what? And then I'll get to that at the end. Okay. All right. What's going on with this Twitter? Come on. Sorry, guys. Hello, Twitter. All right. Let's see. There we go. Sorry. Usually it loads pretty good. I haven't had any problems recently. I'm not sure. Maybe we got some windy skies. Okay. Most of you who watch UFC or MMA, that's why, because it was already loading once. Okay. Most of you that watched MMA or UFC probably know that back in 2016, Conor McGregor posted a tweet or said someone hacked into his Twitter account saying that he was going to retire while he was young. And of course, Conor McGregor went on to fight many more fights. But on March 26th of 2019, Conor McGregor posted this tweet, and it says, "Hey guys, quick announcement. I wanted before I read the tweet, just note the time, guys. 1:18 a.m. on March 26th. So right after midnight on the 25th, he wrote this. Hey guys, quick announcement. I've decided to retire from the sport formerly known as mixed martial art today. I wish all my old colleagues well going forward in competition, and I now join my partners on this venture already in retirement. Proper pina coladas on me, fellas. 1:18 a.m. Now, that was in March. We're going to go back 3 months. 2.5. And in December of 2018, in Dublin, Ireland, where he was from, their law on reporting crimes is they don't put the person's name in the paper when they're arrested. They only do that once they've been found guilty. Okay. So this says sportsman arrested over alleged sex assault in Dublin. All right. A sportsman has been questioned and released after being arrested in connection with an alleged sexual assault in Dublin last month. He was arrested by appointment in Dundrum Garda station on Thursday night. The Garda took DNA samples from the man with his consent. The alleged assault happened the night of December 9th or early morning on the 10th. When a complaint was made to the Garda, the woman has since made a formal statement to investigators on foot of which the man was arrested. He was detained under Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act 1984 before being released without charge. A file on this matter is being prepared for the Director of Public Prosecutions, and the investigation is ongoing. It is understood Garda were initially alerted to the alleged rape when an acquaintance of the woman made a complaint. They visited the woman and spoke to her informally, and she was taken to a sexual assault treatment unit where forensic samples were taken. The woman initially did not make a formal statement of complaint to Gardai, but was cooperating with and speaking to investigators. However, she recently met Gardai and made a full statement alleging sexual assault, and she also told Gardai she had been physically assaulted by the male. After becoming aware of the allegations last month, the sportsman told Gardai through his solicitor means lawyer over there, through his lawyer, that he was willing to be interviewed. However, investigators require a statement of complaint from the victim before that could happen. Once the complaint was received from the woman, they contacted McGregor's lawyer and asked him to attend at Dundrum Garda Station, where he was arrested and questioned on Thursday. The man's lawyer accompanied him at all times. All right. And then we're going to go about 90 days ahead. Oops. Did they get it? There we go. We're going to go about 90 days ahead to the New York Times. What would they like? Oh, the paper of record. That's what they'd like to be called. Well, they used to be known for being the paper of record. Now they're known for pushing propaganda, but they'll do in this case. We're not really here to read the article. I'm here to show you that I believe someone from the New York Times tipped Conor McGregor off that this was going to be put out, or tipped his lawyer off that this was going to be put out, which then spurged his retirement tweet. Okay? Oh, sorry, right here. Now, if anybody knows anything about mainstream media, what time do they get their talking points, guys? Put it in the comment section. We'll see who really knows anything about mainstream news. If you know about Q let us know a long time ago what time they get their talking points. All the news stations get their same talking points at 4 a.m. So, I'm wondering, so that means, okay, talking points, that means that whatever, anything else has got to be shoved in for the news for the day it's all in there. Their whole day's worth of news is already set to go by 4 a.m. But at 1:18 the same morning, he retires as if nothing happened in the whole world, right? And then 3 hours later, talking points are no longer Conor McGregor retiring. It's Conor McGregor under investigation over sexual assault accusations in Ireland. I think Conor McGregor might have wanted to retire with his good name, if that's what you call it. Even though he's got numerous assault charges he's facing still right now. All right, I'm not reading this article because they don't have anything of value. They are covering for, I believe wholeheartedly that this newspaper or someone that was involved with knowing it was going to be put out, maybe the sports director, something like that, tipped off someone, maybe Dana White, and Dana White tipped off Conor. I don't know. But we're going to look at some real dirt. If you have children in the room, if there's any children around right now, I suggest you send them somewhere, because some things I'm going to read are really disturbing and are not for children to hear. This is a site called SureDog. It's a site that is it's like the home of MMA fighters. It's basically a whole forum of athletes. Lots of them are professional athletes that some of them don't put their whole persona out there, but they let you but they let you know that they let you know enough about them to know what sport they're in or something like that. Okay, so this starts very interesting story about Conor McGregor and alleged rape incident. And then she goes on to say, I could write so much more on what McGregor has done in Dublin, but it's best just to stick with what's in the public domain. And then the other one says, you have already shed light on a lot of stuff that isn't in the public domain, so why stop there? Dish the dirt. This is where I want to. Okay. All right, last warning. Children out of the room. Okay, this is from Megatron Lee. She's a red belt. She explains where she joined, her location, Boston, but she's from Florida. All right, here we go. You and I were both fans for a long time, but I have seen the signs of his dizzying descent into the darkness for sure. Excuse me, I've skipped over. I've seen his dizzying descent into darkness for quite some time now. I hope this is not true, but I would not doubt it. He has the illegitimate kid and is in a court case for alimony right now. We saw the photos around the Mendez fight of partying with hookers and rumors of coke use. Seen very cokey behavior for years. There have been rumors of him assaulting people, pics of him hanging around with criminals, videos of him fucked up out of his mind. The goonish thug behavior in New York, going dark for Khabib and showing up looking like a shell. Cav publicly separating. Where does this shit hit the fan and the wheels come off the bus? Like Tyson said on JRE, no one can deal with that level of fame so young. Addiction is no joke too, and I know, luckily for me, I didn't have millions of dollars to buy unlimited drugs nor a whiskey brand, which he has both. If true, if he no, this is the part. If he violently raped this chick so bad that she had to have a tampon surgically removed from her cervix, guys, this doesn't say cervix, but it shows it in another part. I'm just giving you her recap of it. She had to have a tampon. This is why, because she turned him down. This was a friend of the family, you guys. This was a 20-year-old friend of the family whose excuse me, whose family thought they could trust this guy. Their daughter had known him since she was in her teenage years. And he had her hanging around with Irish gangsters and on drugs and drinking so heavily that when he finally tried to force himself on her, she turned him down because she was on her period, and he forced her anyway. And when her friend went to the police, so scared for her friend, and she had the rape kit done, she had to have a tampon surgically removed from her cervix. His whiskey is done. His UFC days are done. He will, listen to this, he will be jailed until his 40s and go bankrupt. Honestly, though, it may be a blessing in disguise, as it is probably the only way he will stop. If the rumors are true, cheating on Dee, that's his wife, with her friends, screwing everything, beating people up, and raping women that turn him down because they're on their period. Damn it. Sorry. I hate doing that. I'm hoping, but the more I research this, the worse it gets. The U.S., the accused name is immediately released, but in Ireland it is held until the police investigation is through. There are leaks all over the place, have been since December 10th, with word getting around Dublin and everyone from hospital staff to cops leaking information. We should find out by week's end if they charge him. This was January 22nd, you guys. Here. These are some texts shared between this girl, Claire, forwarded them, but I'm gonna read them to you. Excuse me. The detective dealing with it now is very experienced with these sort of cases and dealt with putting away Graham Dwyer. Oops. He's fucked. Totally. I saw her 4 days later and she was in bits, so she must have been in a right state after it happened. He didn't use a condom. He came inside her. He left her covered in bruises. She had throat injuries, which were consistent with someone held in a chokehold, like the ones he applied in the ring. His DNA was all over her. He tried to ride her vaginally and rammed her tampon up into her cervix. She had to have it surgically removed. She did make a statement, as did the other girl who was with her at the hotel. McGregor, all right, this is between Michelle Dardis and Pippa Doyle. Okay, that's Donna's pals. McGregor getting named for the rape either today or tomorrow. Mail UK and Ireland pulled all their staff in a massive meeting about it last night. And then it says, stop. Oh no, poor D. Yeah, they're the ones breaking it because obviously over in the UK, they can afford to be sued for millions and millions if it's not him. The DPP got the file Thursday night, though, after the sports star handed themselves in. Also, according to sources, that's why Dee hasn't gone public with the new baby. She's done. Also, the male are going to probably name the poor girl it happened to. So there's a lot of information on this blog, guys, that it says she was beat to a bloody pulp. Um yeah, it's pretty bad. And that's all I'm going to say is it's pretty bad. I don't know what the heck that is. Um eh, I don't think we should be in any way, shape, or form. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Sorry, it wouldn't come up at first. Okay, it says this is the last part, and then we'll go on. Conor got the S beat out of him once by Cav for beating up AS in sparring. He does not respect women. We have seen him in questionable pics with Vegas strippers and prostitutes, not to mention he is an illegitimate kid and has been apparently cheating on D like crazy, even with friends and family. Sounds like Dana, that's one of the texts I was showing you, who apparently is his wife's sister. Here's his illegitimate kid that he's being sued for. Baby mama is fine, it says. Connor's the type of guy that if you hit him, he'll hit you back. This is partly why he's gotten into so much trouble over the years, like the Diaz brawl and the bus incident. His ego's out of control. He is a mega king in Dublin. If he was hitting on this girl and she slapped him, turned him down, humiliated him in front of his friends, he would want to make her pay, and that temper would go off. He's a sexual weirdo and a deviant who shows up to a multiple weigh-ins with boners or cock rings on, who takes pictures of their erect penis in underwear and posts it on Instagram with millions of kids that follow him. It's sick behavior. His last post prior to the 9th, the date of the rape, was of him at some massive club. Apparently, he went on a multiple day bender. The next post was the 10th, and he sent the most cryptic, bizarre message I've ever or a message ever about him. And I'll read you the post. Here's the picture. This is the day after the rape. This is what he has to say. Their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Their morals, what? Not to rape, is our code, is our morals. That's a bad joke. No, men like you think that you're so powerful that no matter what it is, you can take it with force if you must be. But somebody's going to take your asshole with force one day, Mr. McGregor, and I can't wait to report that on my channel. When the chips are down, oh, excuse me, they're only as good as the world allows them to be. You'll see. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. Basically him saying that him turning and destroying his own people, his own society, the way he has been by assaulting and raping and beating and abusing and all the things he's done, that he's ahead of the curve because everyone will be doing it someday. All right. We're going to talk about Dana White quickly because Dana White is the head of UFC. And after this rape allegation came out, he obviously was, everybody wanted to know what Dana had to say. Even though Conor had retired, everyone wanted to know how Dana felt about it because it was right after one of the fights. So, cryptic little Dana White, always looking for a way to keep the money right on that back burner in case any of his current showboats get too coked up or too roided out to fight that night. He's got to have this backup junkies. So, no offense, but that's just how I feel about Dana. Allegedly, as they say. It was not, well, darn it. Of course, it was going to go back to the beginning. Here we go. During his lengthy ESPN interview last week, McGregor was not questioned on this subject. UFC President Dana White was asked about the reports Tuesday following the completion of the Dana White Contender Series card, which took place in Las Vegas. White offered a confusing and somewhat contradictory response to the question of whether he knew about the investigation. I know zero about that, to be honest with you, White said. Then he says, the back and forth that I've had with him about that is that it's not him, that it's somebody else, So I don't know. Dana White just said in the same sentence that he didn't even he knows zero about that a rape accusation. And then in the very same sentence, he said, well, when I asked him, he told me it wasn't him. So I don't know. So which is it, Dana? And which one of it is you taking accountability for the athletes that you employ? Wow, Dana White, shame on you. This is why it's a shame that people like him are running these sports. So we're getting to the end of the video, and I was making sure that I had done updates on my research, and that if there was like an update in the court case or anything else, I wanted to know about it. Well, this came up that he had basically had some Twitter action in August, and it's just obviously about 2 weeks ago. This article is from August 22nd. This makes me sick even thinking about this. After just having his rape case splashed all over in March, by August, because it's in Dublin and no one is here keeping a day-to-day focus on it, Conor McGregor says he thinks he will fight again this year and that he wants a rematch with Khabib. Well, ain't that nice? Isn't that just sweet? Anyway, sorry, had to get a drink. Let me get down here. It talks about him wanting a rematch with Khabib and Dana White saying, okay, well, I'm not sure about that because other people deserve a shot at him at the unchallenged or whatever, undefeated fighter. And so, so he has to, because he has to defend his title. And so there's other people in line now or whatever. And because McGregor lost, just because he wants a rematch doesn't mean he's going to have the first dibs at him type thing. So, hang on. I'm trying to find that spot that I saved. Hold on. All right. Well, the point is I don't think it did say in here, what the heck? Let me just reload this because it did say Dana White said, or it says I'm in negotiations with the UFC. It said, so just in case it doesn't load. Oh, wow. Just beeped at me. Did you hear that? It's my computer telling me, stop pushing buttons, idiot. I got this. Oh, one of these days it's actually going to say that. That's what the scary thing is. Here we go. Now it just didn't load all the way, I think. All right. So I want to go down here because it does say that he's in negotiations with the UFC and he no longer is requiring UFC shares as part of his negotiations. Well, of course, because you have a rape allegation hanging over your head. So the only way you're going to be able to fight, I give up. I'm not going to keep loading it. The only way you're going to be able to fight, Conor, is if you do give up the things that you were worth giving up to before. You were given before people would have given you as many shares of the UFC and as many millions as you wanted because you had a reputation of being a good sportsman, and now you're a rapist. And now, on top of being a rapist, check out the headline, guys. Conor McGregor said he must get his head screwed on sorry. What is my pushing? He must get his head screwed on after footage surfaced that appears to show him throwing a punch at an older man in a pub. You guys, I'm not kidding. Here he is getting a second chance to fight again after raping a family friend. And he goes around and I'm getting out of this because it's going to screw up my next thing. He goes around and screws it up by getting drunk in a pub and swinging on an old man. I don't know if this is going to load. I don't know what's happening. This is crazy. There we go. It came back. There. Conor McGregor, UFC news. Khabib says Notorious could have killed man with the pub punch. That's what they call him, is Notorious UFC star lashing out at punter in Dublin bar. Let's see if I can actually play this video, because if I can, then you will see what happened. I believe this is like a Conor McGregor's most controversial moments. End of the video here coming up. Khabib said he could have killed that guy. He wants to fight Khabib again. Do you think Khabib's going to give him? I hope not. Khabib, he called out Khabib's wife for wearing a towel on her head, and Khabib said, well, you're a rapist, all on Twitter. Khabib, I hope you don't fight him.
Nie wieder schleppen. Machen Sie sich's leicht. Einfach im Billa Online-Shop bestellen und direkt nach Hause liefern lassen. Jetzt bestellen auf billa.at.
Yeah. Okay, well, if this is going to play, I'm going to give it one chance. Because I got the buffer booster on. See, that's crazy. It's the Irish, because it's from Ireland, you guys.
About 20 years.
This is all. Yeah, it's going to just keep doing that. You know.
Dance for me, boy.
Saying dance for me, boy, Mayweather said to him. I don't know what the rest of it is. But anyway, you can go look up the video.
Dance for me, son. Dance for me.
Yeah, you can go look up the rest of the bar video is all the way at the end. I'm not going to make it, guys. So go ahead and look up. I guess he swung on an old man at a bar. Anyway, Conor McGregor doesn't deserve to go back in the ring again, nor does he deserve his freedom, and he does not deserve his fans.